Hello guys, thanks for your patience today. I have Heath is doing a mentoring appointment and our 3-year-old required a little bit more attention than she normally does. So here I am a little bit late today. So thank you for your patience. So in this encore video, I wanted to talk to you about something that I've been learning a lot about lately, and that is using my feminine energy and using my feminine energy to, I need one of those selfie sticks. Yes, I know. Using my feminine energy to in my business, but actually getting into my feminine energy and realizing that as a mom, as a woman, that sometimes I think that I have to do things like the men, and that is not, it's a subconscious thought. It's not actually a conscious thought. And so I think, in order to do like my business, for instance, I have to do it in a certain way. I don't necessarily use my gifts and talents to do that. Well, so the masculine and the feminine energy, just very briefly. So the masculine energy is more of a hunter-gatherer, right? It's let me go get this for you. It's like, I'm gonna chase it, I'm gonna gather, I'm gonna chase it and go get it, right? It's the hunter-gatherer mentality. The feminine energy is the gathering in. It's the nurturing, it's the attracting, it's the receiving. So as women, when we're going for our dream, it's going to look different than it does for our husband or the men necessarily, because we have more feminine energy. We have feminine and masculine. We use our masculine all the time to get things done. But when we work with our feminine energy, we have a lot less frustration. We have a flow that happens. We see more miracles happen when we're in our feminine energy. At least in my experience, I've seen more miracles when I'm in my feminine energy and being willing to receive, because that is the feminine, is to receive. And it feels more comfortable. Sometimes we think that when we're going for a dream, it has to be hard because it's something we've never done before. So it has to be hard. It has to have more effort to it. We can't get our goal unless we put forth a certain quota of effort, or it needs to be certain hardness. Does any of that sound familiar to you? So I've had those thoughts but when you're in your feminine energy, because we are wired that way, it naturally feels effortless. It naturally feels like almost too easy. And so we think, gosh, I'm not going to get my goal because I'm not putting forth enough effort. I'm not worthy of getting my goal because I'm not putting forth enough effort. I can't expect blessings because I'm not putting forth enough effort. When really, when you're in your feminine energy, it feels easy. It feels playful. It feels like it shouldn't feel like to our brain. Our brain is wired like, oh, this has to be harder. So I've been learning about a little bit more about staying in my feminine energy, or actually getting into my feminine energy lately. And I had an epiphany, and it came out again in a one-on-one session I had this morning. And oh my gosh, was it cool. And I learned a lot more in effort to serve her. So I was telling her about this because she is feeling unsafe bringing in money. She has a small business out of her home, and she feels uneasy bringing in money. And so she said, Shelly, that's the thing that I want to work on today. I said, awesome. And immediately I thought to myself, money, the thoughts that came into my mind to tell her were, money is a creation of God, and it is one of the creations, just like the trees, just like animals, like the kittens, the dogs, the animals that you see out in wildlife, the mountains. Those are all creations, and this is, my faith-based opinion, my faith-based belief is that those are all creations of the Lord, and that He also created money. And money is just one of His many creations. And if we feel unsafe receiving money, then what does that say? What kinds of beliefs might we have about that? And she said, and as the session progressed, she said, I think it's that I feel unworthy about having money. And so we talked about this idea that I'm sharing with you now, that I've just recently been learning, because it seems so synchronistic how when I'm coaching people or teaching a course, a live course, a group of people, that the things that they need to hear come to me like the week before they need to hear it. Like I start learning something and then my client needs it the next week. That happens all the time with my one-on-ones, and that happens with my groups too. So it was so interesting that this is exactly what she needed. So we talked about when you're in your feminine energy in your business, and when your feminine energy in your life, in your business is just part of your life. If you have a business or your dream, that's just part of your life. When you're in your feminine energy, you are receiving. And there is a give-receive cycle. If you've heard of a give-receive cycle, some of us, me included, sometimes give at the same time that I am meant to be receiving, because I want to make it easier for the other person who's giving to me, or I want to make it less inconvenient for them to give to me, or I want to make myself feel that I'm actually worthy to receive whatever they're giving me. So I will actually give, or try to control the situation, or try to give at the same time that they're giving, in an effort to help me feel better about receiving, because I feel unworthy of receiving. I'm hoping that this is landing for you a little bit. So the thing that happens is that we don't ever really go into our feminine energy where we can attract and receive all of those resources and money and people and things to help us with our dream, when we are giving at the same time we're meant to be receiving. It's a cycle. If I had my whiteboard with me right now, I would show you it's a give-receive cycle. And so you are giving at one time. There isn't multitasking and giving and receiving. You're doing one thing at a time. You're giving, and then you're receiving, and then you give again. So when someone offers you a compliment, for instance, and if you take in that compliment and you say, oh gosh, thank you, oh gosh, thank you so much, that's the way you receive it. You receive it like it just changed your life to get that compliment, because really it can, and it shifted something inside of you. Or if you say instead, oh thanks, and you don't even think about it, you don't even receive it, you don't even pay attention to that they gave that to you, it's almost like you're brushing it away. Well, what happens is that when you just say, oh thanks, they don't really feel that sincere thanks from you, and so they don't receive. That's what you give. When you receive, you're actually giving back to that person. And like, I'm sure that when you've given somebody a compliment, when they say, oh gosh, thank you, then you just feel like, oh, you're welcome. You just feel good. You're like, oh, thank you. Thank you for receiving my gift. I know that made you feel better. So that made me feel better. When we are, and I call it kind of thwarting our feminine energy, when we are trying to give at the same time, you can't give and receive at the same time. You can only either give or receive. But when someone is trying to give to you and you would like to receive, but you feel uncomfortable receiving, so you're trying to give at the same time, it it blocks that receiving, and that's why you don't feel like you're receiving. So the exercise I gave my client this morning, and which I'm going to give to you too, is if you have a hard time receiving things, if you have a hard time going into your feminine energy and attracting clients or attracting that resources for you to live your dream, to have that dream, to get that goal, whatever you're moving towards. If you are going into your masculine energy and not letting yourself receive, this is the exercise I give you, that I gave my client this morning, and that is, in every aspect of your life, every instance in your life where you could receive something, allow yourself to receive it without doing anything. Without doing anything to earn it, without doing anything to be worthy of it, without doing anything to deserve it. Are any of those three words, worthy, earning, deserve, if any of those are hitting a chord with you, to just allow yourself to receive it, have the courage to do that. For some of us who have struggled with feeling worthy to receive blessings, worthy to receive help from people, either heavenly help or people, angels here on earth that, people, our families, friends, it takes courage to begin to do that, to actually allow ourselves to receive without, because the first knee-jerk reaction is you feel guilty, oh, I should be doing something for them. They're doing something for me. I need to be doing something for them right now. When really the thing that you could do that would mean the most, that would help you go into your feminine energy and feel what that actually feels like, because a lot of women don't even know what that feels like, and is to go and to allow them to do something for you, and don't do anything. Just say thank you in a very gracious way, and show them how much you appreciate what they've done. And it might feel so uncomfortable because our bodies have certain patterns. Our brains have certain patterns. And so when we do something a little different, our bodies complain. Our bodies feel uncomfortable. You might have, your brain might be, your head might be screaming at you, saying, you do not deserve this. You have to do something to earn that. You have to do something. You should feel guilty for receiving that, which is so cruel, really. But that's how we feel. If you resonate with me, give me some likes or hearts or something, so that if I'm saying what you are feeling too, or maybe there's something else. If there's something else, give me a comment. Maybe I can see it on my phone. I'd love to know if what I'm saying is resonating with you. And this was something that I'm learning right now. And I know that a lot of my clients are learning the same thing, who are moms. The men clients, not as much, although they do use their feminine energy to receive as well. Men struggle with different kinds of stuff usually, though. But women, oh my gosh, we struggle with getting into our feminine energy and allowing blessings to come, allowing things that we haven't earned yet, or we don't deserve, or we don't feel worthy of. And we realize that, oh my gosh, as we allow ourselves to go into that feminine energy, I believe that is God helping us to feel who we really are, to feel our higher self, to feel that higher self within us who has always existed, without so much of the programming that's in our head and the gobbledygook that we've been picking up along the way throughout our lives. So the long and short of it is, I would say, if you are working to manifest something, and notice I said work. If it seems like work and it's not play, remember we talked about play on Friday. So if you're not in your playful energy, if you're not in your feminine energy, an empowered energy, an energy that you feel empowered, that you can go out and do, and that you can manifest and create, then this is what I would tell you to do. I would tell you to be aware of any time someone does something for you, the littlest thing. If your child comes to you and offers you a piece of candy and you really don't want it, receive it anyway. You don't have to eat it unless they're waiting for you to eat it, and then you can pretend or you can eat it, whatever. But receive even the littlest things. If your cat comes up and scratches on your, or like rubs against your leg and is trying to give you some loves, receive that and say, "Oh, thank you," instead of saying, "Nope, I don't have time," or trying to just immediately give back to them. Just say, "Oh, thank you." And us getting in the mode of, because we give a lot. It's not that we don't give. And our receiving is a part of giving. Our saying thank you is the gift back. So us getting into the habit of allowing that to happen, it will also get us into the habit of allowing money into our life. Allowing, because it's just another one of those ways that God shows his love for us. It's just another one of his creations that he blesses us with. So I hope this makes sense. Gosh, I don't even know how long I've been doing this. But let me know if you've got any questions about this, if I can go into further detail about this. It is one of those unique secret weapons that we have as women, that we can use this feminine energy that isn't really used in the business world or getting your goals world. That's something unique to the feminine. And so some men know how to use that with their, the feminine energy that they have, but we are like wired that way. And so when we manifest things, when we bring them in, when we collect and receive and put things in their place, ooh, beautiful things happen. So I hope this made sense to you. I hope that you could resonate with this, and I hope you guys have a great day. Let me know what questions you have about this, and I'll answer them. So have a good one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See ya.